In this video, I'll show you how to train the invoice scanner if needed, including some recent improvements. You'll recognise invoices that have come through the scanner by the blue icon. Most of the time, the AI reads these really well and lays everything out ready for coding, so there's no need to correct it. Occasionally, it might not have picked up all the information correctly. That's where the Fill in the Gaps button comes in. This lets you show the scanner exactly where to look on the invoice. You'll see the invoice, a preview of the document, and the fields FarmFocus is trying to fill, the key information and the line detail. We can customize this screen to a view that suits us. We can close the preview if that's not useful by clicking the cross. We can move the panels or arrange in tabs by clicking in the title bar and dragging. We can adjust the margins using the double-headed arrow. And we can pop out any of the panels into another window if that makes it easier to work, and then close. Once you've got the view how you like it, click the Save icon to make it your default. You can also revert to the original view if you'd like. If a field has picked up the wrong information, we click in that field. It will highlight where it's currently looking. We can click and drag over the correct detail on the invoice. Over time, the scanner learns from this, so consistency is important. A common issue is when suppliers' names are in a logo. The scanner can't always read these clearly, so it's best to point it to where the name appears elsewhere on the invoice written in text, often down at the bottom. Another one to watch is due dates. If the invoice says something like 20th of the following month, the scanner won't pick that up as a date. It will leave it blank, which is fine, because in FarmFocus, the due date will default to the invoice date in that case, and you can easily update it. Now we come to the line detail. The invoice scanner looks to read all lines, picking up the description, quantity, and line total. Again, if the information has been picked up incorrectly, we can click in the field, then click and drag over the information we want it to grab. If a line has been missed, or there are too many lines, we can use this contextual menu to duplicate, add, or remove rows. We can also use the plus button to add rows, and you'll note here there are keyboard shortcuts for each action. Rows can also be reordered by clicking here and then dragging and dropping the lines in the right order. If multiple lines are selected, we can move or remove all selected lines. If it's all a bit messy, the broom icon lets us clear everything and start fresh. A great feature is the ability to set up the first line correctly and apply that learning to all lines on the invoice. This works especially well for large invoices, saving time and ensuring consistency. To do this, we select the line description, quantity if applicable, and line total for line 1, and then use this button here to apply that to the whole invoice. Our recommended best practice is to let the scanner read all lines, even $0 ones or lines that you plan to merge later. This helps it learn consistently, and you can use the efficient tools in FarmFocus to update the invoice to get the rich information you want to see in your reports. A good tip is that if the top line is a summary of the job, you can include it as line 1, along with the detailed lines below. That top line description can be really useful if we want to merge in FarmFocus. You can undo or redo at any time using the arrows at the top. When you're finished, we click Save to return to FarmFocus. From there, we can use the tools in FarmFocus to code the invoice. We can use tools like coding rules, bulk coding. We can remove $0 lines and have that ability to merge the lines. This is when having that top line as the overall description is handy, as when we merge, the top line is the description that will remain. One of the big benefits of Invoice Scanner is that the original document stays attached, so we've always got it to refer back to. The scanner usually takes around 5 or 6 consistently coded invoices to learn properly. So, if you're working through a backlog or have multiple invoices from the same supplier, it's a good idea to send them through together and train it consistently. And remember, you only need to use fill in the gaps when something hasn't been read correctly. It really is especially worth it to take the few minutes to train it well for a supplier that you use often.